one of the very interesting facts that came about was on the diversity or the gender part of it. So 41% of the employers prefer hiring male apprentices, which still happens to be the largest part of it. 28% prefer women apprentices, and 31% have a neutral approach. So what's your take on hiring women apprentices, and how does that add value to the organization? So I would love to hear about, if you are hiring apprentices or women apprentices in your organization, is diversity the only agenda that's there on the mind, or you really find that the women, adds value to the organization and that particular job? And where I'm coming from is that in some of my interactions with the employers, and this I'm largely talking about from the manufacturing side of it, they said we prefer to hire women for the reason that, that there's a lot of discipline on floor. There's a lot of discipline in women itself. They're very regular, they're very punctual. At the same time, they're very focused. They're not very distracted, and they're very productive because of their focused approach towards the work. Very interestingly, one of my very first customers whom we dealt with gave me a very interesting example or an anecdote for Satte Pe Satta for movie. I'm not sure I hope all of you would have seen that movie. And he said that there were 7 brothers staying there, and there is one woman who comes in their life. And how does that change the entire lifestyle of the people, where people were really living wildly, there was no discipline, but how that one woman who comes in their house makes those 7 guys disciplined. There was more routine. I mean, they had a proper structured way of living. So that was a very good anecdote that gentleman shared with me. But what's your take on women apprenticeships in your organization? Sindu, would you want to go first on that?
To be very, very, very honest here, Sumit, we didn't really wear this filter for one set of the hiring at all. So when I talked about the fitter community, we never received any women applicants either, honestly speaking. So 90% of the time it came by reference after a particular point of time, and every reference that came was also a male candidate. So to very, very honestly, no, we haven't received too many applications at all. Obviously because of the nature of the work. Let's be focused there as well. Now, given the fact that, in the other roles also, frankly, this entire lot that we did hire this time, we didn't have any, but also because we didn't receive many applications also for the same. So this was our take.
What about your, Tushar? I mean, your industry is such where should be open. So I'm sure you would be having, women folks as well. So what's your, thought process when you are hiring women? And you would like to apply the same logic when you would be hiring women apprentices?
Well, even before I can answer to this question of yours, I picked on that point which you said, women workforce really making the mark in the manufacturing setup, and I was just talking to one of my colleagues, and he kind of pointed out in a company by the name of Anchor Panasonic, right? We must have used their switches and all. 85% plus workforce is women. Right?
Yeah.
So just to let you know, and what we within the IT industry, I think we are and again, this is a arguable statement if I can put it that, but I think we are the torchbearers as far as inclusion and diversity is concerned, right? I personally believe, right, because this century is all about experiential economy, right? You have made billions and trillions through the Airbnbs and Googles of the world, right? So from that perspective, being a leader for multiple inclusion and diversity councils, including and FIS is a recipient of multiple awards around LGBTQ and around disabilities, which we in India call as differently abled councils, right? I can say for that for surety that we don't really limit ourselves when we call it as diversity or inclusion, right? We don't limit ourselves towards women as a vertical, right? We include a lot of we broaden it out even further, right? In fact, and I think I believe and again, this is something which I have a FIS way of thinking, 15 years here. That's why. So I can only give you FIS examples most often or not. But almost a decade back, I think we almost when I was associated with our BPO division at that point in time, we almost cracked a deal with NAB National Association for Blind, in getting in a set of people from their end to do specific work for us, right? And obviously those were not the days of Cortana and Microsoft and all of it, right? That was Braille laptops and Braille desktops, and it was a lot. There was a lot of an effort which was to be put in, right, without voice commands and all of it, right? So obviously that didn't play out the way we wanted to, but the thought was novel, right? Because even the contact person from NAB actually said, you'll have zero attrition and 100% productivity, 100% attendance, right? So I think we should be looking at diversity equals to survival now in the next few decades to come, right? If not, then you will not be able to survive. Not be able to survive this next couple of decades at least, right? So I believe we are very strong in that. When we, in fact, as a talent acquisition leader, I report back metrics on my diversity percentages, and it goes beyond the gender metric, right? It goes towards LGBTQ. We are free from Article 377, right? So LGBTQ socially not, but legally yes, right? And then obviously disabilities is a big piece for us, right? And post COVID, it's a much bigger piece, because now we don't really want people to come to office, right? People can take it from wherever they are, right? For all the rest of their careers with us, right? So I think, to your pointed question, I would definitely be looking at a 50-50, if not more, right?
Great. Thank you so much. I think that was quite an elaborate, explanation on, or for women hiring, or I would say diversity, in your work.